Coming up on the Rawder Kidula Show.
What's your favorite color?
Blue. Blue?
That already was not an attraction for me because I wasn't keen to marry a pastor. No, I will clarify. I needed a born-again man, but not a pastor. I honestly...
Things began to cross in my mind. What kind of a woman do you want for marriage? And then I began to look at the qualities, the things that I was looking for. And it's like something asked me, this friend of yours doesn't have those qualities.
And we found them actually in one of the
very late in the night.
And I was okay after that.
You are there, a man with a woman, a very expectant woman behind you
at night,
pushing you to look for that thing from one butchery to another.
Yeah, lucky enough we found them.
And nothing prepares men for pregnancy.
I can't say per se that I would have stood tall and said I was ready to be a husband, but I wanted to. I wanted. All I knew is that I wanted to. Can I answer you very objectively?
Please do.
Your statement is incorrect. Traditionally, women worked.
So traditionally, women did everything.
In fact, traditionally, women worked more than men. Most of the times, we take it the opposite. Where the wife says, it is my right to be loved. And the husband says, it is my right for you to submit. I will only love you when you submit. No.
I will only submit if I feel loved.
If I feel loved.
Yeah.
That is not what Jesus meant.
This is the Rodah Kidula Show.
Hello, people, good people of God. How are you doing? It's always a joy to be together on this platform. This is a space where we glorify marriage because it was created by God. So thank you for being part of this community, and thank you for subscribing to this channel, watching the videos, sharing. And if you haven't been doing that, please go ahead and do so. It will go a long way in spreading this good news that marriage works, right? So my name is Rawder Kidula Show. Always a joy to host this show. And if you have any couple in mind that would like us to host, please go ahead and reach out to me. My number is always on the description of all my videos. So today, before we begin, I don't know if you've known or heard about this calendar. I've always been giving out to the couples I host, but it's a 50 days of prayers for my marriage. So everyone who's married should have this calendar on their bedside, in the sitting room, somewhere that they can see it every day, even if it's in the kitchen, so that every day they open a page and make a prayer for their marriage, right? So a random one, this one we are praying for unity. Dear Lord, make us one in mind. Give us discernment to resist any source of division. Give us wisdom to work out our differences and to focus on what makes the other better. And there's a scripture for the day as well. So if you know anyone who's married and you want to gift them, maybe you're attending a wedding, this is a perfect gift for newlyweds, right? Yes. And reach out to me as well to order a copy of this desktop calendar, 50 days of prayers for my marriage. Well, before I introduce today's guests, JK Studios, thank you for the amazing job that you do. If you're looking for videography and photography, please consider JK Studios. They do an amazing job. Check them out on Facebook, on Instagram, on social media, and see what they do. JK Studios Kenya. Sawa sawa. Yay! So I have these beautiful people with me today, and what we do here. Kwanza, thank you for coming.
You're
all the way.
You.
You know what I mean? All the way this early morning. Thank you for making it.
You're most welcome.
Here we introduce each other. So please introduce this man. Who is this?
Okay, thank you, Rodah, for having us, and good morning. This man next to me here is called Michael Wambuas. He is my husband of close to 15 years this August. And yes, and the father to my children. Yes.
What does he do?
Michael Wambua is a pastor, a reverend actually.
Yes.
He serves with CITAM. Currently, he's the senior pastor at CITAM Ongata Rongai.
Oh.
So that's what he does on a daily basis.
What's his personality?
Mike's personality is a blend of a bit of phlegmatic and a bit of choleric.
Oh.
From my observation, I've seen he combines those two.
Those two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, please introduce. He's been nodding like he's even surprised that is him. Introduce this woman to us.
Yeah, the lady here, this is Lydia Mwikali Wambua. But in other quarters, she's commonly known as Kaleli, because that's our father. And before we got married, that is the name that many people knew. So a lot of people still call her Kaleli. In fact, she's more popular with her father's name than her own name. But she's my wife. We've been married now for, we're almost turning 15. God has blessed us with children. We've been serving together. Yeah, and it's a blessing to be here.
What is she passionate about?
She has a great passion for women. One, she mentors girls. I think one of our belief is that in dealing with marriage issues is preparing girls before they get there. She believes that the foundation is very key and people needs to be prepared early. And then she also has a passion for mentoring women, especially on relationships and health. Yeah.
What's her favorite color?
Blue. Blue.
That's correct.
Turquoise.
And,
like
which is a
me.
shade of blue.
Yeah, it's a shade of blue.
Yeah.
Her shoe size?
7.
40, which is 7.
Which is 40, yes.
7.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her favorite food?
Mokimo. Bananas. Mokimo bananas.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matoke.
Matoke with stew.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting. Sorry, I'm asking you those ones. And I didn't ask her. What's his height?
I don't know the exact meters or the exact, the one on the passport, but definitely it's above 170 centimeters. But I don't remember exact, yes.
I'm used to feet. 5 feet, 6
Mike
feet.
is 6 feet, 6 point something feet.
You're that tall?
I'm trying.
You're trying.
Yeah. 6 point.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now I'd like to know how you two met and where you met. The one who saw the other first goes first.
You can go first.
Oh, he saw you first.
I think so.
You hope so?
I think so.
I thought we saw each other at the same time.
Tell her.
But I think we met in church. That time we were both at CITAM Buruburu. I was a student then doing my master's. She was working. But we were in the same youth group.
Okay.
We were in the same young professionals group. She was my leader actually.
Oh.
She was in the leadership. At that time I was not in the leadership. So yeah, I think that's how
we
saw each other for the first time. Yeah.
Same for you?
Yeah, we had been in the youth ministry together.
Yeah.
And I think the detail you are looking for is he was there in the group, but I had not seen him as a potential husband
Were you
at the beginning.
To be found?
Yeah, I was ready for marriage, and I was praying that I would get a suitable man to start a family with or to get married. But Michael had been there. He was quite a quiet guy in the group. So he wasn't loud. You would not easily recognize him. But because he used to volunteer in teaching doctrinal class in CITAM Buruburu, I knew him a bit. And I knew he was in the line of theology.
Yeah.
And that already was not an attraction for me. Because I wasn't keen to marry a pastor. No, I will clarify. I needed a born again man, but not a pastor. I honestly didn't want to marry a pastor because my perception and experience with the pastors that I knew, being a village girl, I grew up in the village. So the pastors that I knew in the village, for me, I did not admire to be a pastor's wife.
How did they look like?
For me, yes, they were men of God, but they did not live their say their quality of life or their social status in terms of what I had
associated with poverty.
Poverty, yes. I was avoiding to say that. Now that you put it, yeah, they really looked, and then they were not well educated in the village. They didn't look exposed. They didn't seem to have much. So, and they wouldn't be given, chicken, milk in the village. So I didn't want to live that kind of a life where if I marry a pastor I knew, I'll be like, quote and quotes, like I'm beggar. I'm only receiving 2 eggs, receiving some milk, receiving some, githeri, some maize here and there. So I did not admire that aspect of pastors. So that's why he was an handsome man, yes, but for me, he was not a potential husband. On that perspective, yes.
When did she become potential?
So actually, even for me, the first time we met, she was not a potential. It's honest.
It's honest.
We all had our own thoughts, and we became actually friends. She became more of a sister to me, and somebody that you would easily tell even secrets. So I even told her the girls I was eyeing and things did not work. I just poured my heart. I'd found a counselor. And so really in the beginning, there was no that connection for marriage. It's like, I found just a good sister who can listen, who can talk, we just become friends and all that. At a particular point, actually, she tried to hook me up with a friend. She had this friend that we're not going to mention names. She had these friends that she felt this would be a very good pastor's wife. I think they schooled together in campus and something like that.
And in high school.
So she felt this is the person. And I was beginning to warm up to the idea. She had showed me, I'd never met the girl, but she had showed me photos and kind of a thing. Very beautiful girl and all that. But at a particular point, I think one day, I think I just prayed about a spouse and all that. And a particular day, then it was a bit late. Things began to cross in my mind. What kind of a woman do you want for marriage? And then I began to look at the qualities, the things that I was looking for. And it's like something asked me, this friend of yours doesn't have those qualities. She doesn't seem to have these qualities and all that. And that's how the game began to change. Then I began to see her differently. Now that back at my mind, it's like something was showing me, these things you want
are here.
Your friend has them. Why are you looking for somebody else? And at first, even now, when I began to change the story, she was like, no, we are even too close for that.
Actually,
I know you more than you think.
So what changed to the point where now you're saying yes to him?
I don't know what changed, but I think God was in the picture because, like he told you, I honestly believed my friend would have been a better candidate for him because I didn't want to marry a pastor. So when we actually tried twice. I talked to my friend and we organized for a date between them. She did not show up the first date. So of course I was a bit disappointed. So we tried our second date again. She did not show up. Then I kind of now was a bit discouraged. And I was genuinely keen to help a friend get a spouse, get a wife while I'm praying for myself. So the day he came and when we got the second disappointment, then later he comes and tells me, by the way, I know you mean well and you'll be trying to help me get a wife. What do you think of us getting married? I really laughed. I'm like, you must be kidding. Me and you cannot be a couple.
Why?
Because I had never looked at myself,
Yeah.
that way. And I think I've already explained. I didn't think I am meant to be a pastor's wife. I didn't see myself as a pastor's wife material because I had ambitions. I was a very ambitious girl. And I was those girls that would want, certain careers for a husband. Those careers when you mention in the village, everybody knows Lydia really got a husband. That was the kind of a person I was, which I think, reflecting back, I had like a bit of kiburi.
Yeah, pride.
A bit of pride.
Ego.
Yeah, and a bit of ego. But God dealt with me. So what he did is after I laughed off the first day, the story ended there and we continued with our, normal friendship and conversations. Then later, I think after a month, this day we met, just as usual, we were meeting. And then he tells me, by the way, I am been seriously thinking that me and you can get married. And what I want you to do is don't tell me whether it's possible or not. I want you to go and think about it and also pray about it. Then after you have thought deeply about it and prayed, then you can give me an answer. And we left it on that.
Yes.
And I think after that, 3 months passed. And we are just having our normal conversations as friends. So without any clear plan, one day we meet and he says, by the way, I had asked you to go and think and pray about a certain issue. Can you give me a feedback?
Yes.
I was really caught off guard. But of course, in between there, after we had that conversation, I started thinking about it and I'm like, And of course, now looking at him, try to analyze him as a husband material and looking at what qualities does he have, what kind of a husband would he make for me, how can I cope being a pastor as well. So I had actually thought about it and had prayed about it and I was beginning to relax and like bring down my list. Many girls have that list of, you have a list of ticking the boxes of whether he fits here and there.
Yeah.
So when he asked me that, I was kind of cornered, but I think by that time I was also ready, and I had analyzed him and thought he's not a bad one. I think he can make a good husband. And what I had focused on is, remember that time he was a student, no income, apart from the Bible that he would carry sometimes while coming to share. He didn't have much in terms of material possessions, but I saw the potential.
That was very thin.
And he was very slender. You need to see our wedding photos.
Yes, I will ask for those ones.
I've done a lot of cooking over the years.
But still blow your trumpet.
Sometimes it helps. But anyway. So I think when he actually asked me that question, I said, I think we can give it a try. And that is it.
Wow.
So I saw the potential in him because he was doing his master's in Daystar.
Yeah.
Then I thought, this is a guy who is thinking ahead. He thinks of self-development.
Yeah.
And then the conversations we had as friends without really trying to impress each other, I thought he was a forward-looking man. He had a lot of ambition. He had visions. You could actually listen and tell that this is a guy who is going somewhere. So I think I had felt like he has potential for great things in future.
Wow.
Yeah, and then of course he was looking good. So I envisioned my children and I thought they will not be looking so bad or they will be looking good.
That is a factor.
It is. It's a good one. I mean, for me, I said...
Do men also think about how their children are going to look like?
Of course.
Yeah.
You want children who are looking good. You want to floss around with your girls.
Yeah.
You also look at that when you're planning.
When you're planning, when you're thinking.
Yeah.
Like, hey, put these two faces together.
Yes.
What's
Those are
likely
good
to come
children.
out?
Yes, they look nice.
Oh, how was dating like? What do you remember about your dating season?
Our dating season was quite unique because we didn't date for long.
Oh.
But we had spent a lot of time together as friends.
Yeah.
Because after we met in church, of course, we also went to missions together. And actually, we became more closer. At a season, we went to a mission in Rwanda, where we were there for 2 weeks, I think.
2 weeks, yeah.
And at that time, we began to connect more.
Oh.
And then we just became friends, even though we were just talking normal friend issues, sometimes talking about how life is sometimes normal faith issues, but we had become friends.
Yeah.
So the time we decided to get married, actually we didn't have so much dating to do.
Oh, how long?
Because how do we date now? We were like brother sister.
Yes.
And so even our dating was not so much moved by passion, was just moved by friendship. We were just friends. We just felt like we are friends. We will live together well,
Yes.
And those days, like for me, I grew up in this strict Pentecostal kind of a movement where we were not so much exposed, and of course, having been a village boy, not so much exposed on romantic things, or where you have to propose with many rings and kneeling down and flowers. No. I was not that kind of a guy. I was just a simple, straight guy. I want to marry you. I want a wife. Full stop.
We have complicated things.
Complications were not there. So we dated for, was it 1 year?
1 year.
1 year. And much of that 1 year, I think, towards the end was more thinking of the wedding.
Wedding.
Yeah.
Then the wedding happened.
And
Yes.
then the wedding
How
happened.
was the wedding?
Awesome. It was glorious, I would say. Actually, what happened is when we settled and we have moved on, and we moved the relationship to the next level of thinking about marriage. We begin planning the marriage. We had a few friends that we brought together in terms of our committee. And like I said, I think the beauty of our relationship was that all of us were villagers that were in Nairobi. So really, our expectations were kind of the same.
Oh, yes.
There wasn't much of this one is going north while the other one is going south.
Yeah.
So we didn't have so much of, unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
We kind of were resonating on many things. So I remember when we began the committee, one of my girlfriends was asking me, so what kind of a car do you want to be carried with on your wedding day? I told her, by the way, none of us owns a car, the two of us. So it would be unfair for me to start saying I want a limo to be carried with a limo on that wedding day. Then after the limo goes, I'll be jumping on the next cheapest matatu.
Yeah.
So I told her all I need, whether it's a tuk-tuk or a Mercedes-Benz, I only need a car that can carry me on that wedding day. Because none of us owned any car. So I think we were quite realistic. So we actually did not, in our budget or in our committee budget, we did not have any budget for hiring a car for the bride. And we were praying and telling God, among our friends who own cars, bring one who has a decent car for a bride.
Yes.
And then what happened, I think when you don't have very high expectations, God comes in and meets your needs. Because that time, by the time we were doing the wedding, he was an intern pastor at CITAM.
Yeah.
He had been taken in as an intern, and he was at CITAM Parklands. So he tells me one day he goes to dedicate a house for one of the family members in CITAM Parklands. Then the owner or the man of the house tells him, Pastor, I hear you have a wedding. I will be traveling around the time of your wedding. I'll not be able to attend, but I want to support you. And says, the support I want to give is, I want to give you a car to carry your bride. And I will fuel the car and give you a driver.
Wow.
So it was
the whole day.
The whole day. And he
whole
said
day.
the car is available from 6 a.m. to whatever time you are done with it. You release it. So he says, I'll appreciate. Then he says, you come out, I show you whether it's a car you would like or whether your girl will like it.
Yeah.
When he went out, it was a
Hammer.
It was a hammer.
Remember those days? Hammers were
The days when the hammer was the thing.
hammer.
and it was actually the
color of our wedding.
Oh.
Yes,
Exactly.
And
exactly.
you've been told to go and see if you will like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
A hammer.
So he comes and calls me
Rich
later to
people.
say, yeah. So we
Finish
were
us.
given that. So really God honored us. Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it was a miraculous.
Miraculous. There were many miracles, I will say, that we saw during
Yeah.
that wedding.
Actually, I am from long ago.
Yeah.
I believe in simple weddings.
Oh.
Very simple. I wanted to do. Let me surprise you.
Yeah.
I wanted us to do the wedding after service.
I know.
That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted when we finish the
Service in
Yeah.
church.
in church, then
We walk down.
we walk down, and in the next 30 minutes we are
We're
wed.
done.
But when I shared that idea with the people in church that were leaders that time in Sitam Parklands. Majority of them said no, Pastor, no. Then I told them, okay, you will help me in some of the things to fund this thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people gave us vehicles, Mercedes, very good cars, extremely good cars. So we had a wedding that looked very expensive, very extravagant. But the honest truth is that much of it were things that were given by friends and church members for free. They never charged us anything. Apart from now also our friends who helped us also to raise funds, which they also helped us to do to get good money. And that really helped us to have a very good wedding that we truly enjoyed.
Wow.
But deep within my heart, I just wanted a very simple wedding. It was still simple but glorious.
There's someone who is planning a wedding right now. What advice would you give them? A young man thinking about getting married and the wedding. Yeah. What would you advise?
I think the first thing I'll tell them is that stop thinking about extravagance, because extravagance comes in with a lot of cost.
Oh, yes.
And most of the times we heap that cost on other people. And also sometimes we run around raising money. And sometimes I've seen people who have done weddings and at the end of the wedding, they have debts, they are struggling. They begin their marriage with a lot of struggles. I would rather, if you get money from friends or family, keep that money for your marriage. Do a simple wedding, as simple as possible. The concept, rather the concept I had for having a wedding after church did not stop there. Up to today, I'm doing weddings after church.
Oh.
And I've done several.
After the service.
You tell the congregation to stay?
Yeah, we finish the service 15 minutes earlier so that the remaining 15-20 minutes we join a wedding. So that way the couple doesn't have to pay anything, doesn't have to pay venue, worship team,
feeding people,
flowers, you don't have to feed people. And all the people you would have sent invitation cards, which would have sent you, costed you, are here.
They are here.
And they are there, all of them are there. So I've done several weddings like that in Rongai, and it has been very good. I believe that, and some of them have been very happy that the little money they had, they have saved for their marriage. You'd rather even buy a plot for your wife and build him a house than feed 1,000 people, and at the end of the day you go to rent. Do it simple. And they are very blessed. They are very blessed. Some of them more blessed than people who have had extravagant weddings. Simplicity is always the best.
Maybe I can add maybe advice to girls, because I think girls are the ones who have more excitement and expectations when it comes to weddings. I would advise young girls that are planning to get married and that are looking forward to getting married that it's better to invest in a marriage than in the wedding. Because a wedding is an event. And it's a one-day thing. After that, you are left to deal with the marriage. So you need to invest more in building a good foundation for the marriage than the wedding. But of course, I'm not saying you do a very shameful thing or a thing that doesn't also make you happy, but it's not a competition. Actually, the point I wanted to say is we are not outdoing anyone by having a big wedding. Because I see some girls, because they came for your wedding and they saw Rodah had this kind of a gown, I want to have mine better than Rodah's. Marriage is not a competition, and even life is not a competition. So I would encourage girls, don't invest so much on a one-day event and forget that what matters most is the marriage. Is what happens after that day. So that's what I would encourage girls. Have a decent wedding, but do not make it very extravagant at the expense of the marriage. Because some people take loans. And some of the things we spend I realized, like for me, I was not advised that I could, or I was not careful to take the advice of hiring a gown. I bought one, which has never been washed 15 years later. I have never used it again. It is still there in the store somewhere. So I feel like
Yet very expensive.
yes, it was very expensive. I wish I had hired. I would have hired the gown, and that money, the difference, would have been used to build the marriage. Even if it's buying a plot, well, it was not enough to buy a plot, but should have contributed.
15 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, you would have contributed to some investment for the family.
Yeah.
So that's what I would advise the young girls. It's not a competition.
There is always also the honeymoon expectation after wedding.
Yes.
What advice would you give someone who's getting married in 2 months and they have very high expectations about the honeymoon?
Yes. I would say, one, the main goal of honeymoon is to go and connect. For most people that did not know each other sexually before, honeymoon is mainly where you go and consummate the marriage and enjoy your initial sex life together as a couple. And I would say that can be done either at home, in your house. It can also be done in a good hotel. All right? So what I would advise people is that be again realistic when you are thinking of this. Of course, if you have money and you are able to afford it,
please
use that time to enjoy, because you will only have again one honeymoon in your life. Isn't it?
People go
unless you are remarrying for 10 years. No, the initial honeymoon,
it can't be the same.
It is never the same. Even if you will go for an anniversary, it's many years later. You've already, remember, this is the time you are learning each other. You are getting to know each other sexually. So it's a one-off. So for me, it's a thing to give keen attention. Somebody needs to give keen attention to their honeymoon, but again, be realistic. If you're able to afford taking your wife or your husband to Zanzibar, to Malaysia, do it, but do not take a loan to do that. So for me, enjoy it, plan for it. It's a good one. I would encourage that people really give honeymoon attention, because like I said, it's a one-off. And you should create good memories, but then be realistic.
True.
Actually, for me, I would even advise people you'd rather cut on your wedding costs so that you have some money for
the honeymoon.
I think for me, the honeymoon is even far much of a greater value than the wedding itself. Because the wedding is for public show most of the times. It's a public witness. And a lot of people spend a lot of money on the wedding and they have nothing for the honeymoon. And I think for me, honeymoon is where the marriage is now made. That's how you begin to know each other, to build together. So I think for me, it needs to be given a lot of attention. If you're able to afford, as she says, the best, do the best. If you are not able to afford to go to an expensive place, go to a place you can afford. Be together as much as possible. If possible, the first month, maybe up to 6, if possible up to 1 year, let the honeymoon continue. Don't live with the relatives. Live alone, the two of you. Don't bring in relatives and other people, because the honey is sweet when the honey is better when the hive is new. So so enjoy so that you have time. You have freedom in your house. You have privacy. You can connect as much as you want. Anywhere you meet in your house is a potential place for making love. Mukipika, if you cook a little bit of your yams and you feel like these yams can go better with honey,
you switch off the gas.
Switch off the gas
and manufacture some honey for yourselves. So that by the time the 1 year is over, possibly, you have connected, you have enjoyed each other's company as much as possible. You have become friends. A lot of people get married when they are not friends. Because they are attracted by appearance and passion. I want this chick, I want this girl, she looks good when I look at her. But feelings don't last for long. What you need to build most in marriage is friendship. And I think the first year after the honeymoon and then the first year is a very good platform for you to build friendship. Get to discover each other.
Oh, thank you. Now you're married. First year of marriage. How was it?
In our case, no, I think I was ready because we got married when we were mature, so we were not very young. So I was ready. And the first year of marriage was good, but it was a lot of learning moments, I would say. And for us, fortunately, our firstborn was conceived within this first year.
Oh.
So we were enjoying the honeymoon, then this pregnancy comes in the picture. Of course, a lot of emotional changes, and the excitement that was flowing kind of was interrupted because of the pregnancy issues of pregnancy hormones.
Yes.
But I think we still enjoyed the time together, and we did not bring in other people. So it was just the two of us managing also the pregnancy challenges, because it was a bit of a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Initially, I'm that type I could not fry kitungu or the onions. You know, a lot of things changed. I could not stand the smell or the taste of Colgate. So we had to go looking for different toothpaste.
Can you imagine?
Really?
Imagine, yeah.
They don't all smell the same?
No. I could not stand his roll-on. So we had to change our lotions.
I kept on changing all kinds of things.
Yeah, because every other time, everything was smelling. The smell of everything was so exaggerated.
The only things that never smelled bad was omena.
Was omena.
She
apparently.
loved
For the
omena.
first time, I ate
She loved
omena.
omena.
Yeah.
Omena
So-
is nice.
Yeah. But you can imagine coming from Mukambani, I'd never tasted
Tasted
omena in my
omena.
life.
Yeah. Oh.
But my baby forced me to taste it.
Oh.
So I had to call a friend to cook it for me initially, and then show me how to cook
How
it.
to cook it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but yeah, the first year was good, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after now you've become a husband.
Yeah.
Looking back, do you think you were ready for the role of a husband?
One, I don't think anybody is ever ready.
Oh.
Because even when you have dreams about something, deep within your fears.
Oh yes.
Am I going to make it? Am I going to be the best ever? And I think sometimes people delay because of those fears, though later on you discover that those fears are conquerable. And the best way to conquer them is to practice, get engaged, and do what is expected of you. I can't say per se that I would have stood tall and said I was ready to be a husband, but I wanted to.
Oh.
I wanted. All I knew is that I wanted to. I'm like that blind man who said, all I know is that I was blind, but now I can see. So we got engaged. Of course, I became a husband. Sometimes it was very hard to hear that you are being called husband or something.
Yeah.
It takes time to accept certain titles. But really, yeah, I think I began to function.
Function.
By the way, I have discovered sometimes we fear certain responsibilities just because we've not been there.
Yes.
And also because maybe we are scared. We have seen people fail, or maybe we are scared. We don't know how things are going to come out. But I've discovered most of the times is even when you are not sure, just play along and get yourself to improve every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah.
Had you ever lived with a pregnant woman?
Apparently no.
Oh.
Apparently no, because I'm
lived.
the last born.
Oh, you are the last.
I never saw my mother
pregnant.
expectant. So being the last born, I've never seen my mother expectant. I had interacted with my brother's wives when they were expectant, but they are brothers' wives.
Yeah.
So they were not very close.
Yours.
So this was the first time that I have a woman who is expectant, very emotional, sometimes crying for no reason, and also craving weird foods.
Weird things.
One day I had to actually that time we were not driving, so I had to walk around almost at midnight, looking in the butcheries for people who have cooked the what do you call them, those feet for cows.
Goats. No, for goats.
For goats. The goat's feet. Ile mguu ya kuku ya ng'ombe
Ya mbuzi.
ya mbuzi. Because someone can't sleep until they eat that. So I have to walk around, and then she
Like
can't be
Itwa.
left behind.
Yeah.
You're walking
She
with
wants
her.
to walk with me until we get it.
Yeah.
So
And we found it. by
And
the way.
we found it.
Yeah.
We searched until we found.
You found.
Yeah.
How do you even think about a goat's feet?
From, like I said, we are both villagers.
Oh.
You know, in Ukambani, when you slaughter a goat, you finish with that. The climax of the goat eating is the feet and the head. So, and there's a way you first roast it. So I think what I was craving is that smell.
The smell.
The
That
roasted
smell of soot.
Yeah, that kasut smell is actually what I was craving. So it was either to be the head or the feet.
Legs, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and we found them actually in one of the
Very late
butcheries.
in the night.
Yeah, and
Can you
and I
imagine?
was
Oh,
okay
no.
after
You are
that.
there, a man
Yeah,
with a
looking-
woman, a very expected woman behind you,
At night.
pushing you to look for that thing from one butchery to
another.
Yeah.
to another.
Yeah, lucky enough we found them.
And nothing
Yeah.
prepares men for
Yeah.
pregnancy. Women, we
yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
So there are things we get to
Yeah,
hear from
to
here
hear.
and there. But nothing prepares men for pregnancy and delivery. What would you advise a newly married man who's looking forward to children?
I think it will be very important to find a man who has experienced that.
Oh, yeah.
And just ask some experiences and what is going on. I think actually also, especially in church groups, in the men's ministry,
Yes.
I think it will be very important that we've said it again and again.
Yeah.
Even when our ladies are getting married, they have these bridal showers where the lady is taught how to behave as a woman,
Yeah.
what to do in the bed.
Yes.
So by the time the wedding is happening,
Yeah.
you have a lady who is over prepared.
Yes.
She knows everything and even how to be naughty.
Yes.
But you have a man who has no clue. He's
Yeah.
just hanging around with
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Nobody prepares you for how to deal with a wife. When she begins to cry, what you're supposed to do, some men run away.
Oh, yeah. Or the others cry with you.
No.
Yeah. When
help
she's
you.
expectant, what you should be able to do,
Yeah.
how to handle her emotions,
Yes.
how to manage her wrath, and all that. I think there needs to be a very well-prepared educational program
Yeah.
for men as they
Yes.
get married about that, about how to deal with the woman, the first pregnancy,
Oh, yes.
and a few other important things. And I would say that since there is now no such kind of a forum, I know personally, I don't know any of such
The
kind of a forum.
groom's shower, they don't have.
Unless they are starting.
Unless
They have not been popular.
They have not been popular. But again, it's the responsibility of the individual man
Yes.
who is looking forward to get married to get exposed in some of these things. So find someone who is mature, especially if one of the persons who helped us a lot was our best couple.
Oh.
Because we walked with them for some time and we asked a lot of questions. So in a way, some of the things were not very strange because, and that is the other thing that is very important, because we chose a mature couple
Oh, yeah.
who had walked the journey before.
Awesome,
And,
yeah.
and it was very easy for them to educate us. And they were very good.
Yeah.
They really educated us
Yeah.
very well. So in a way, some of these things were not very strange to me.
Yeah.
But of course, the shock was there.
The shock was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did babies change your marriage? You have 3 now.
4.
Oh.
Yeah.
The one I met was the
fourth one.
the fourth one.
Yeah. They are 4.
Oh.
Yeah.
How have they changed your marriage?
I think for me, babies have brought in a lot of dimensions in terms of, as they come, the focus is no longer the 2 of us only,
Yes.
but we also have to also focus on the babies. And I think, especially for mothers,
Yes.
you find yourself having to give a lot of attention to the babies, and if you are not alert or careful, you can almost ignore your husband because of, I mean, the children, they need you 100%.
Yes.
So there is that thing of teaching me to balance, because yes, the babies have come, but I keep reminding myself these babies are with me or with us for some time. Yes, I need to be there, I need to be present in their lives, I need to take care of them, but after a short while they will not be here. So occasionally I remind myself, as I take care of the children, I also need to not to forget the father, because when the children have gone, have matured and left us, it is him I'll be left with.
Yeah.
So there is that, of course, added responsibilities with the coming of the babies.
Is it fair?
Fair in terms of
In
what?
terms of,
Yeah.
I have 3
Yeah.
children, 4
Yeah.
children,
Yeah,
and I have a husband.
yeah,
Isn't it supposed to be the 2 of us taking care of the children
yeah.
together?
Mm,
Instead of now as a woman, I'm taking care of the children, then I'm taking care of the husband.
yeah. I think, Rodah,
Mama, it's how we were
the
created.
practicality, honestly, I think many of us women, or the young women, that is the expectation.
Ah.
And that is the prayer. That
Oh.
actually, it is the wish that when the
Yes.
children come, because these children belong to both of
Both
us,
of us.
that both of us will equally,
I will be
100 or
bathing
50%.
as you will clothe them.
yes, that
Then
is
we
actually,
go cook.
that is the dream of every woman. That when these children come, my husband will do 50%, I will do 50%. My experience
Yeah.
is that is not a reality.
Yes.
It's the ideal. The practical part is that maybe it is unique with us.
Yeah.
But I have not seen my husband being involved with the raising of the children practically 50%. There is the role he plays, but there
Yes.
are others, he is never there.
Yeah.
And I think that is how, maybe, I'm saying I may be wrong, but I think experience had taught me it is never 50%. It's
Yeah.
never 50-50. And sometimes what helps me, I look back at what I saw my mother do. And I keep saying, educated as I am
Yes.
more educated than my mom, for example. But I think there are some things, it's not about education.
Yeah.
It's what life is. And I think more importantly, within our African setting,
Yeah.
the role and the place of childbearing, especially when they are young, the responsibility is more on mothers
Yes.
than it is on fathers.
Were you working in your first year of marriage?
Yes, I
When the
actually
babies came.
I am the most overwhelmed woman, I would say.
In the world, in Kenya.
Because let me tell you, Rhoda, I think everywhere globally. Maybe globally, but allow me. By then, let me tell you, when you mentioned we got married when I was already working.
Yes.
Along the way, I enrolled for a master's.
Oh.
And I can tell you, I started the master's when our firstborn was 5 months. I graduated with that master's when our thirdborn was 1 year. So in between, and I was working. So I was working, I was in
You're
school,
working.
and I was bringing forth children. And still, I was supporting him in church ministry.
You are a pastor's
I am a
wife.
pastor's wife. I am working. I had a full-time job,
Yes, we give you the
not
truth.
in church, and I pursued a master's and graduated within 4 years.
Yes.
Because I started the master's in 2012. I graduated in 2016. 2013, I got our second-born son. 2015, I got our third-born daughter.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I think I was a
Yes.
most overworked.
You are doing all that.
I was doing all that, and by God's grace, I managed. And I think looking back, because sometimes I also try to evaluate myself.
Yeah.
I think I also did a good job in terms of balancing. Because I did well in the workplace.
Yeah.
I did well. I actually passed well for my master's. And my children grew up well, and they have turned up well, I would say,
Yeah.
so far. And I'm really grateful to God. However, I would want to tell a woman listening to us
Yeah.
or watching us today that every family, what I've learned is every marriage is unique.
Oh, yes.
You also don't have to really do what I did because you need to look at your circumstances.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Because much as, like I said, I felt very overwhelmed and very overworked. Not every husband will behave like mine.
Oh, yes.
Maybe somebody's husband will be more present, will be more hands-on when it comes to children.
Yeah.
Because I think later I kept pushing him. You need to help me change the diapers.
Yeah.
And I realized he was not going to do it.
Yeah.
So later, much as he did not fully explain himself, I realized this guy is a last born.
Today he'll explain.
No, I don't think really it's about last born.
Uh-huh.
I think it's a masculine cultural thing.
Yeah.
That first of all, the way we are grown is that even if people hear you are changing diapers as a man,
Yeah.
really,
Are you really a man?
really,
Are you a man?
I think there are sacrifices in marriage. I'm not trying to say that I'm not a chauvinist. male chauvinist. No. But what I'm trying to say is that there are certain things that we must accept the way they are.
Yeah.
Not because they're oppressive. No. Because most of the times when we look at something, if they are not balancing, we quickly try to say that, it's oppression and all that. It's not everything that does not balance that is oppression. Because most of the times when a lot of ladies want to heap traditional chores that are ascribed to women, transfer them to men. Now, what most of the times you do is you may push as much, but you're transforming your husband to another woman. You're transferring you're transferring your man to become another woman. You're helping them begin to have women traits. I'm not trying to say he will move to another woman. I'm saying you're transforming him to become more of a woman. So and within no time, by the way, you find the man is losing confidence. The man is just behaving funny. Is excessively obsessed with children. When other men are going out there to do masculine things, is behaving like, have you seen a jogo trying to sleep over chicks? Does it not look funny?
So does changing diapers make you a woman?
There is a way, in a way, it transforms you. Because the way you behave and the way you do things is very much connected with who you are and the practices you have.
Okay.
So sometimes most of the people who do that, men who do some of these traditional chores that are ascribed to women, they don't do it willingly. I can tell you for sure.
Really? What if I'm married to a chef?
They don't do it. A chef is a chef at workplace. It's not a chef at home. Every man wants to come home and be served by his wife. That's what makes a husband feel like my husband. That's what makes you. That's what makes you feel a king. How can you be a king without an empire?
Is the
empire is your wife.
Your wife is tired. She is doing her masters. She has 3 children.
Yes.
She has an 8-to-5 job. Then you come and sit. You're the king.
It doesn't mean that really I sit. I would help elsewhere.
I've seen you cooking ugali on TikTok.
Yeah, I would help elsewhere, but I'm not helping. How do I put it? I'm helping out of my own volition.
Oh yes.
And I'm helping in roles that I feel comfortable.
Oh yes.
For example, for me, I will not lie to you. We have 4 children. I've never changed diapers.
No.
Not a single day. And I don't think I will. It for me, it's very hard.
Yeah.
It will punch my
ego.
My ego badly.
What's your strength in house chores?
My strength in house chores, I can cook.
Yeah.
And I cook several times because I love cooking. Yeah. Mostly cooking.
Now I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
So every man has their strength on what they can do in the house.
Yes. Yeah. And I think what many ladies lack is to encourage the man to help more in areas where they feel comfortable. Others beat the man too much. You have to do this, 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 until at the end of the day, the man is so injured that you no longer, and then you begin complaining, my man is just there. I don't feel his manly behavior. No, but you have transformed him into laddish behavior.
Bas, we have had. So if my husband is Jackson is good with babies.
Yes.
I should not expect Jackson to be like good. Rev Michael.
Yeah. And encourage him where he's good at.
Yes. Okay.
Build him there and don't make it like it is your right for him to help.
Yeah.
If you want him to help more, make him feel it's a privilege.
Oh.
He will help beyond. But if you feel you begin hindering him
again.
Ama they start fighting back.
Fighting back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just helping. It's not too lazima. And don't make it, if he doesn't want it public, don't make it public. You know, some ladies want to show my man changes diapers. But he changes in the private. You want to feel good, my man can change a diaper. No. If he wants to do it at home, let him do it at home. Don't show it to the public. You are injuring him.
What if that makes me happy?
The in-laws.
No, it should not make you happy when you are hurting him.
In-laws will say, our son.
Our son.
What is wrong
He's
with our
become
son?
like a woman. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. This
Yeah.
ego issue
Yeah.
is not just for men. Women also have ego, right?
Yeah.
How do you, in marriage, soothe each other's egos and help each other at the same time to swallow these egos? I don't know.
Yeah. I think the best way to focus your ego
Yeah.
is simply through who you are, and especially in terms of your gender. The best way to make your ego shine
Yeah.
as a woman is to behave like a woman in the marriage.
Wow.
And the best way, allow the man to be a man. And that way your egos will be able to be constructive. But where a woman wants to behave like a man, there's going to be problems. Because it's either the man will rise higher
Yeah.
or the man will go down.
Go down.
Something has to happen. And one of you will be affected, and that, trust me, is going to affect your marriage.
Oh.
Allow me to add, Rodah, by saying, you see, when people get married, you had been consumed with the I love you bit, or
Yes.
with a lot of emotions and excitement. But when you come into the marriage, it is real. There is no much of acting, and you become yourselves.
Yes.
Because there is no room to act. Everything is bare.
Yes.
And there are a lot of adjustments that all of you have to make. One, to accommodate each other, to learn each other, and to, as you build each other's ego,
Yeah.
and also help shape, because sometimes our egos may be a bit losing the way, or they may
Yeah.
be either overrated, or there is some lifting that is needed. So whether you are trying to help your spouse tone down or to come up, on the way, there will be some casualties.
Yeah.
I want to say that.
Yes.
There will be a bit of casualties. Therefore, all of you must be committed to each other, to the marriage,
Yes.
and must be willing to adjust. Because if you're not willing to adjust, then there will be a lot of conflict.
Oh, yes.
So I think the best I would say is, as you come together, there are things, like for me reflecting, there are things he would correct me and I would feel attacked earlier because I didn't know the motive.
Yes.
There are times I would feel like you are telling me this because you want to sit on me.
Yeah.
You know, like the way Kenyans would want to say it, umenikalia. I would feel like he's focusing on oppressing me.
Yeah.
Until I realized the intention is actually not to oppress me, but is to help me become a better me.
Yeah.
So the moment you grow and you are open to learning
Yeah.
and growing through the help of your spouse, then you are able to grow to be a better version of you.
Yeah.
Because there are things he would tell me earlier and I would feel like I don't think I'm ready for that. So I would be wounded, I would
Yes.
be bruised inside. But I think over time I go to a place of asking, why did you tell me this?
Yes.
Let me give an example. Like when we were newly married, or when we were earlier in our marriage, there's a time whenever he would travel, he would bring me a dress.
No.
And even today he does.
Yeah.
When Michael travels, maybe outside the country, he would always bring me something, either even jewelry,
Yeah. A gift.
a gift, to a point of even brings me Cutex, lipstick, such kind of things.
Yeah.
But I would say most importantly, it would bring me dresses.
Yes.
And I noticed over time, he would bring me these African outfits,
Yeah.
the big ones. You know, the
Yeah,
ones for
maxi.
pastors' wives. The ones for
But you're
pastors'
a
wives.
pastor's wife.
Yes, I am, and happily so.
Yeah.
But I realized he would bring me those big ones.
Yeah.
Until to a point, I told him, by the way, I know he wants me to look decent. The message was he would want the wife to look decent.
Yes.
But I would not feel very comfortable. The dresses look very nice. They are very beautiful, elegant. But then when I wear them, I would feel like I'm competing with my mother-in-law in dressing.
Wait.
So one time I told him, much as I like these dresses, I told him as much.
Yeah.
I actually feel like I'm dressing like my mother-in-law.
Yeah.
So I would appreciate if you must bring me a dress, or when you are bringing me a dress, make it look more girlish than, mama-ish. And actually, I just that to a point where one time, I think he went to Scotland and brought me a very nice turquoise suit. But the skirt was too short.
And you're a pastor's wife.
And I'm a pastor's wife. To date, I've never worn it because it's above the knees, way above the knees. So when you wear it in the house, it's very good for his wife.
Yes.
But now you can't step out of the house with this because it's too short for now the pastor's wife, So I think the point is we need to understand each other's intention and then be able to communicate. Because I think why I was getting annoyed or feeling like he doesn't mean well, I was processing these thoughts within me and I'm not telling him. So I would feel like he's being insecure. Some of the negative thoughts I was entertaining is like he doesn't want my nice legs to be seen because he's insecure out there. But now when I sat down and communicated, we actually understood each other, and to date, whenever he brings me a dress, it perfectly fits. And when I walk out with it there, one of the things I will hear, I love your dress. So I know he has a good taste and he means well for me. But what helped me to get here, in terms of even adjusting my dressing to look nice and to feel nice, is that we communicated. So communication is very, very important in marriage. Don't entertain thoughts about the other person, and especially negative thoughts, without having to find out where they are at and where they are coming from and what their intention is about whatever they are doing.
That's really powerful. You said something, I'm still there. On roles and responsibilities in marriage. Nowadays, most women also go to work. And traditionally, that was a man's role, right? To go look for money. Are the women also turning into men in a way?
Can I answer you very objectively?
Please do.
Your statement is incorrect. Traditionally, women worked.
So traditionally, women did everything.
In fact, traditionally, women worked more than men. Because, if you look at especially many African settings, you discover that the women are the ones who tilled the land. They woke up early in the morning, prepared food, and went to the gardens. They worked in the plantains. They worked in the corn fields, and in the evening, came back home and still milked the cows. They milked the cows. They took care of the calves at night, helped by the children. Actually, traditionally, in most, not just African communities, when you look at many communities traditionally, the woman worked
a lot,
but also the man worked. But the major work of the man was mostly to provide the means for production, ensure there is a shamba, the seeds are sown, things are done, and ensure that the cows are taken care of, and then supervise the work as the wife and the children are working. The only difference came in during the onset of industrialization, where now much of the labor economy went to the industries. And when it went to the industries, the man was expected to work from the industry and bring something home. But the wife was not idle. The wife actually worked a lot. And by the way, before the onset of the labor market, men lived longer. Men lived longer. You would find very old men in the village. Why? Because one is that they had a lot of time for themselves. After they have done the little they would do, the women will go and work out there. The children are out there working. The men would meet as men, play drafts as they talk about the village and debrief. The man, when the labor economy came, it sent the man to be very lonely, and it set the woman mostly, especially what is happening now, to largely want to depend on the man.
Now because he has gone to
work. So now there is a lot of pressure on the man because the man has to bring home money.
Yes.
And the woman has to make noises for more money to come in.
Yes.
What is the end result? Early deaths.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why there are so many widows. So for me, traditionally, when you look at our especially the African traditions, women worked.
Yes, they did.
And they worked a lot, and they must be respected for that. And that is what we need to teach our girls, because there's a tendency that is coming up right now where a lot of girls are taught you have to depend on the man. The man must provide for you. The man must be a provider. Even in the Bible, there's no place where the Bible says a man is a provider.
Yeah, he's
Show
the head.
me. I am a student of the Bible for many years.
Yes.
And this is a mistake, an erroneous teaching that we must correct. Rhoda, there is no place in the Bible where it says a man is the provider. There isn't. The only place where it insinuates a man as a provider and says a man who does not provide for his house is worse than an unbeliever.
Yeah.
It is in the context of widows.
Oh.
And Paul is telling Timothy, let the widows be helped in their homes.
Yes.
So that they are not a burden in church.
Yeah.
Because a lot of widows in Ephesus were coming to be helped in church, while they had extended family members who could help them. And that's where Paul says a man who cannot help his family is worse than an unbeliever. The help that is needed here is not for a wife. It's for widows within the family. Look at Proverbs 31. The woman is a worker.
Hey, she wakes up.
She wakes up. And she even buys a kashamba before the husband knows. And says, my lord, here is your land. So we must teach our daughters. Truly, we must teach our daughters that a woman ought to work. A woman must not depend on a man. It is good in the marriage setup for the man to bring whatever he's bringing. But the woman should not stay idle or be so focused on the man being the provider for them. The woman is supposed to work.
You know, when I was single, we were taught the roles of a man. And I remember even many single ladies know before marriage, they already know man, provider, priest, protector. I've forgotten the other one. But we have a list of what a man should be. Many times, even when a man asks you out, you want to see nowadays, you have to buy me. It's my birthday.
He must buy you a gift.
Buy me a gift first.
Where is he taking you out?
You have to prove that you're a provider before you get married. So I actually agree.
That's very
wrong. We should teach our daughters.
I actually have been reflecting, and even this program that I want to do for the girls.
Oh, yes.
I've been reflecting on many things. And sometimes I look at this. Many people, before they get married, how many young men have their own homes before they get married? Rarely. They don't. Until when the wife comes in the picture is when they build a home
together.
Together, which means the coming of the woman is what brings order.
Yes.
And it's actually, if the woman is organized enough, that family will be prosperous.
Oh, yes.
But in places where the wife is a bit disorganized and not focused on building, that family doesn't go far. So I keep saying, much as there is this narrative or the belief that the men must be the providers, the security. For me, my experience again, I have noticed there are many things that what the society out here is teaching us, the practical aspect of it is the opposite. I mean, Rhoda, you've been married, or the time you've been married.
6
when we
years.
say, even look at many homes, those 6 years, ours is 15 years this year. When you look at many homes, how many homes where it is the man who leads the prayers in the evening? The family altar. Is it the man who leads, or it is the women? Woman. Is it not the women?
It's the woman.
Many times it is the women. Who takes children to church?
The woman.
In many homes. It is the woman. In the evening when you are going to sleep, who confirms whether the doors are locked or not?
The woman.
Is it not the woman? So who is the protector there? If that is the protection we are talking about in terms of the house, isn't it? Who ensures that there is food, and who determines what should be eaten on a daily basis?
The woman.
And who determines the menu? So the woman really, if we want our marriage,
is the maker of the home.
Is the maker of the home. And there are many responsibilities that we must just accept that this is my responsibility. I do not have to look at him to do it. Because if I start that way, my family is likely not to go very far.
Oh, yes.
So we need to stop this competition thing. It is never a 50-50% in marriage. I can confidently say that. It's a lot of give and take. However, every member of the family, especially in a marriage setting, must be willing to play their part. I think that is what matters most. If you know your husband, play your part as a husband. You don't have to wait to be reminded. You don't have to be coerced to do your husband roles. If you know you are a wife, you don't have to be reminded. You don't have to be coerced. You don't have to be pushed to do your wife and mother responsibilities. Just do your responsibilities, play your part, without having to look at whether the other has done their part. And I remember I've been telling some of my friends that we talk closely. Even this thing of saying my husband must do this, is my birthday, he forgot.
Valentine's.
It's Valentine's he should have done. Valentine is for lovers, it's not for husbands. Isn't it? I'm equally a lover to him. So if it is gifting, I can actually cause him to buy a gift.
Why must it be always the man?
By reminding him, by buying him a gift. Because when I buy the gift, he will remember, actually will feel guilty, maybe, that my wife has remembered me on a Valentine's Day and I did not do anything. Maybe that will cause him next year or next time to even want to outdo the wife positively by also doing something. So I think for me, what I would tell wives or couples, don't stop competing. Don't look at marriage from a competitive aspect. And you want it to be the prefect of your partner on what he has not done. Don't police him. So I have learned, of course, I did not start like this. There are times I kept reminding and we would be fighting over small things. I'm like, it's our anniversary, you've not done anything.
You've bought me something.
You've not bought me something. Why not?
If you are married.
That is it. The marriage is for both of us.
Anniversary.
The anniversary is for both of us. If I feel something needs to be done and I am able to do it, I will do it. If I'm not able to do it and I think he can support me do what I want to do, I will ask. So for me, I would say marriage is a partnership. Everybody needs to do their part without necessarily policing the other one. And when we do this, we will be able to achieve so much. But should you feel like the other one is losing it? Because sometimes there are situations where one partner can be losing direction for whatever reason, then we also have a responsibility to help them come back.
So in situations where I am doing my 100% as a wife, but my husband is not, and I'm not supposed to remind him, to police him.
No. I say the problem is policing him. But reminding, you can remind him, but what kind of language are you using to remind? Because what I've learned, initially we actually used to conflict a lot. Because again, our personalities are also the opposite. I am a choleric sanguine. That's a serious combination. So I can be loud. I sometimes I want to enjoy life and be out there. Mike, many times he would want to be at home, come watch movies. To date, I never enjoy watching movies. Him, he does. Me, I would rather spend time with friends and have one-on-one, that heart-to-heart conversation. Him, movies will make him happy. And you know,
storyteller.
And you know,
I have to follow stories.
Yes. So you see those differences. Until we understood each other, there would be a lot of conflict, because I would want to, I feel like, why are you always wanting to sit in the house? Why can't we get out there? And he doesn't understand, why must you always go out? Why can't you turn down and be home? You know, those kind of. But later we realize, you know what? We can give each other space to once in a while enjoy what you like without my being there. And we actually don't have to be always together. Isn't it? I mean, the fact that we are married doesn't mean like Monday to Sunday we are always tagging along each other. Following each other. No. You can be wherever you are, but we are still together. I can be where I am going, but we are still together. We are communicating. We are doing what we are supposed to do. So I think couples need to realize, set each other free to a point of let people do what they need to do, what they enjoy doing, without necessarily you having to police them. Give them the freedom to be themselves. And it is not everything that we must always do together. There are things you can do alone, I will do alone, but we are still building this marriage.
Yes.
And we are still building this family.
Together. Oh, we've talked about the girl child. We're coming back to your program.
Yes.
Because you're doing something amazing for our girls.
Yeah.
What's the role of the man? What would you advise a young man now? What's the role of a husband? How are we raising our sons?
Yeah, I think the first thing, a husband must, I'm trying to look for the best word. First of all, be a husband. Your wife needs you to be there. Be home at the right time when she needs you, because some people also get very late. Their wives never get to enjoy them. Your wife wants you, you are not there. Be there. Eat their food. Women are very happy when you eat their food. Eat their food and give compliment. The food is good. Perform your bedroom matters and perform them well until your person is satisfied. You are praised and whatever has to be done. That's how you become a husband. I'm talking about a husband before you become a father or anything. Be there. Make your wife feel like she's under somebody. I picked this statement from Tanzania. And in Tanzania, when you are getting married, they tell you as a husband, this girl has been under her father. And the father tells you, this girl I have been the father to this girl. I am giving you this girl to continue being the father.
Oh.
And for them, it's like the first expectation they want you as a husband is to be like a father to your wife. What does a father do? A father will protect. A father will advise. A father will discipline but will not abuse.
Will provide.
Will provide. A father will be there when they are needed. And I picked that as a very important thing that a husband should be able to play over a wife. That you can walk together. She can feel she has someone, she's protected. She can feel her life has been improved. And she can feel loved. What makes a wife leave her father's house is not even provision. The father can provide. Those are secondary things. The first thing is she wants to feel loved.
Oh, yes.
It is love that leaves her. It is love, and is not the kind of, I'm trying to be a bit diplomatic. Is the kind of love that is not between brother and sister. Is that love romantic love that she cannot get from her father's house. That's the number one thing that brings her to your house. And so you must provide that, and then the others will be able to follow. And you can't provide that if you are not present, if you are not a listener. Women love to be listened. And they want to be listened by people who are significant. And you are the most significant person in their life. You have to listen. What are they saying? Sometimes you may not have the answer, but just listen. And once you have listened, they're okay. They're happy. So, and you can't listen, you are not present. So I think the first thing is be present as much as possible. Walk every mile with your wife. And then later on, of course, the duties will increase when you become a father, and other things will be able to come along.
Okay, before we get back to marriage, we need to know about this program that you're having this April.
Yes, April from 14th to 16th at Mua Hills.
That's in Machakos.
In Machakos. Yeah, but just before Machakos town, the place called Mua Hills is just there. Immediately after Manzoni, there's a place there up the hills. The program is, I'm calling it Girls to Women. And there is a curriculum that I have developed, because over time I've been praying and thinking and asking God, what is it? There are a lot of challenges in marriages and a lot of issues, especially femicide. In the past years, there has been a lot of cases of young girls being killed. And when you follow the story, is because they had been lured by a man who purported to be a lover or to be in love with them, only to go and kill them. So I felt there is need for us to talk to our young girls and teach them some of the things that maybe schools are not teaching them, or the community, because we killed the communal system where traditionally the aunties used to go and tell girls these deep relationship issues and deep life issues that the mothers could not tell them or did not have the courage to tell their daughters. I feel somebody needs to come in and become the traditional auntie. And I felt as I was praying and thinking, I want to be that auntie.
Auntie
Lydia. To be there for these young girls, to teach them matters purity, love and purity, matters to do with the sexuality, how to transition, come effectively from being a young girl to becoming a responsible woman. And this program is based on biblical principles. I am coming from the approach of being a Christian and a practicing Christian. What is it that I need to impact on these young girls that possibly the mothers are not able to say it as it is to them? So the program is very well tailor-made or well prepared for a 3-day program where we'll be able to teach the girls, allow them to ask the questions, teach them hygiene and health, teach them their identity and confidence in Christ and also in life. What is it that they need to do as they grow so that they grow as holistic women to become responsible women who will be able to make an impact in their generation. So we have a very well prepared curriculum. We have fireplaces in the evening, so we'll be able to balance it. We have physical activities, we have times for storytelling, we have times for other facilitators who will be coming, and one of them is yourself, Rodah. We'll come and talk to them about matters that concern young girls to prepare them for responsible womanhood. Yes.
So it's a boot camp.
It's a boot camp.
3 days boot camp.
3 days boot camp at EMT Mua in Machakos. And we are only charging 12,000.
Only 12,000.
This 12,000 includes transport from a common place in Nairobi to Machakos.
Okay.
It includes accommodation. It includes food. And it includes a takeaway gift that we are planning within the program. On the last day, we are planning to have an activity where, as a way of a memory and a reminder to the girls, I'm actually calling it a purity gift. Where when they wear that gift, they are able to remember, I'm supposed to keep myself pure.
Oh, nice.
So the 12,000 is really not so much, in my opinion, because it's taking care of that. Considering these are teenagers, you can't feed them with githeri. You must put chips in the menu, you must put sausages, a bit of chicken.
They'll be fed well.
They will be well fed. We actually have we have already developed the menu, and it is friendly for the teenagers.
For the teenagers.
Yes.
So the target is our girls between
the ages 13 and 18 years.
13 and 18.
Yeah, because that is the transition period where they are transitioning from being children to becoming adults. So I feel that's a very important age to impact them and prepare them for becoming adults and especially responsible women. Yeah.
Details are on the first comment of this video.
Yes.
A number that you can reach out is right here on the screen.
Yes.
If you have a niece, a friend, a neighbor who is a teen girl, this is a lifetime opportunity for them to come and grow, be mentored, be filled with wisdom. And I always say the best gift you can give our children is wisdom to make better decisions in life. A gift of values. You're going to fill them with values and virtues to become responsible women in the society. So please, it's a boarding. It's not they're not.
No, it's not a day. No, it's a boarding camp.
Yeah, so you can come from all over.
Yes.
From Kakamega, from Mombasa.
Yeah.
Come all of you.
Yes.
So that
Even
you can
from abroad.
Even from abroad. Kwanza abroad.
They can fly in.
Actually,
It's a
bring
good
your
time to
girls.
know Kenya.
Yeah.
Because many parents abroad are crying.
Yeah.
They should.
Because of they should. They should
Send
cry.
their girls down.
Send your
They
girls.
shouldn't cry. They should send their
They
girls.
should send their
to the
girls.
camp.
Not cry. They should
Send
their
your
girls.
girls. Send
Yeah.
all your girls. Oh,
Yeah.
that was beautiful. I have a gift for your teen daughter. Sorry to interrupt the conversation. My name is Rawder Kidula, and I present to you this book for my beautiful teen girl. It's a gift challenging the teen girl to have godly values. It talks about many issues that they go through and inspires them to be better teens. See details on the screen of how you can get it. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
going back to now Reverend. This one I'm calling you Reverend.
Yeah.
Why are marriages breaking in church?
Marriages are breaking in church because of several reasons. The leading one, and I'll be very honest, is wrong teaching.
Oh.
Yes.
In church, we're having wrong teaching in church.
Wrong teaching. I pointed out one
Yeah.
in a few minutes ago, where the clergy and church leaders are continually teaching young girls.
Yeah.
A man must be a provider.
Oh, yeah.
Continually teaching women. A man must be a provider. And you have a man whom is not able to provide everything.
Yeah.
And you have a woman then who says, our money, the
It's
money
our
we are
money.
going to eat is my husband's money is our money. My money
It's my money.
is my money. And therefore, there is no enough contribution.
Yes.
You end up having a woman with a lot of money, a man with nothing.
Nothing. And
That's a point of conflict. And you know what the cause of that? It's wrong teaching.
Wrong teaching.
Yeah.
We should be able to teach a balanced biblical thing.
Yeah.
That, friends, when you come to marriage, you are equal contributors.
Yeah.
Everything you own and possess,
Yeah.
you are one. Jesus said, God said the two shall be one.
Yes.
You are one in everything, everything including your income.
Yeah.
But we are not teaching that. We are not teaching that. We are teaching things that are separating married couples.
Yeah.
Right from when some of them are young. And that's why I'm very excited about this program
Yeah.
for young girls, because they need to be taught the truth.
Yes.
The other day we had a program we were calling Attracting a Yes. And this, we were just talking to young people, especially girls, who have delayed in getting married or at the age of getting married. And we noticed a lot of them are not getting married.
Yeah.
Why? The problem was mostly the girls.
Oh.
Yeah, because they have been taught you are a princess. They have been taught, they have been
You've been
brought up here.
Yes.
And the boy they are seeing
Yeah.
doesn't match
Doesn't
who
look
they
like
are.
a king and I'm a queen.
Yeah, doesn't match who they are.
Yeah.
In fact, it took some time to tell some of them, you're not special. You are a woman like any other woman. And if you despise that young man, that young man is going to get married to that other young lady you despise.
Yeah.
And in a few years, you'll see how progressive they will be.
They would be.
You'll be left behind thinking that you are very special. So the number one problem that is bringing divorces in the church is
Yeah.
wrong teaching.
Wrong teaching.
We are more selfish,
Yeah.
focusing on feel-good theology,
Oh, yes.
helping people feel good rather than telling them the truth.
truth,
The
yeah.
Bible is very clear. It is not what makes you feel good that will set you free.
Yeah.
It is the truth, no matter how bitter it is, that will
That's
set you
true.
free.
Yeah.
The beginning point for me is the right teaching. And right teaching also goes hand in hand. You know, growth has to do with feeding.
Uh-huh.
What you feed is what
Yes.
grows you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you don't feed, you don't grow.
Oh, yes.
So that's the other problem, apart from wrong teaching, is also that sometimes there is no teaching happening at all
yeah.
in churches. There's no feeding. It is more of feel good
Yes.
theology and be able to see. Because listen to me, Rodah, the more you grow,
Yeah.
growth goes hand in hand with tolerance.
Oh, yes.
When you grow as a leader, the more you grow as a leader, the more you are supposed to grow in terms of tolerance.
Tolerance, yeah.
That is why when you get somebody who has not very much grown and put them in a position of leadership, the next thing is that they will begin killing people.
Oh, yes.
That's part of the reason why in our societies some people have been disappearing.
Oh, yes.
Why? Because some people have been put in positions of leadership which they have not grown to.
Too, yeah.
Because the more you grow as a leader or in a certain way, the more you grow in tolerance. You discover, I have to tolerate people.
Yes.
Now, people are not growing because the more you grow in marriage, the more you realize, I have to tolerate
Yes.
my partner. I have to tolerate them. They are not like me.
Yeah.
So it is a discipleship issue.
Oh.
At the end of the day, the biggest problem is a discipleship issue, and both the church leadership and the church membership are to blame.
Yeah.
Because the church leadership most of the times is twisted by the membership to
Yes.
preach things that members
They want
want.
to hear.
A lot of members don't want to hear this. Sometimes you preach something about marriage and people after the service tell you, umewasomea.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
They don't want to hear the truth. They can't tolerate each other.
Yeah.
So the foundation of all the breakups
Yeah.
is wrong teaching.
Wrong
A
teaching.
lot of people leave their marriages thinking they'll get another better person.
Yes.
But you find all women are the same. You find all men are the same. So you just, and that's why
Are we the same?
largely, the genetic makeup, the behavioral makeup is the same. Largely, we are all the same. To be very honest.
Yeah.
If Rodah, I cannot tolerate to live with my wife well.
Yeah.
She's a woman like you.
Yes.
Even if I pick you today, I'll still see the same characters in
Yes.
you. And I'm likely to leave you also.
Yeah.
So I would rather build myself to live with the one that God gave me
Yes.
and learn to live with them. But a lot of people think you can just jump the ship
Yeah.
all over here and here. So it's a question number one of teaching and maturity, spiritual maturity. Secondly, is a question of selfishness. A lot of people are very selfish.
Yeah.
They want whatever they want for themselves. And this selfishness is largely driven by money.
Oh, yeah.
People want money in marriage. The pressure for husbands to provide
Right.
big money,
Yeah.
wives to have big money,
Yes.
all kinds of things. Everything is about money. But money, no matter how much money you have, if
Yeah.
there is no joy, you are not in a marriage. And that brings in the concept of peer pressure
Oh,
and
yeah.
comparisons.
Yes.
There is pressure out there. You want to look like so and so. And that is why today you go in the evening and in the morning, you find people running all over, people in the gyms.
Yes.
Most of them are not motivated by healthy living.
Yeah.
Most of them are motivated by comparisons.
Oh, yeah.
I want to look slim
a
like
flat
so and so.
tummy.
I want to
Yeah.
have a flat tummy and post it on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Who told you beauty is flat, being a flat
Tummy.
tummy? Because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yes.
There are men who love big women.
Yes.
Traditionally, where I come from, when you had a wife and she was slender,
Yeah.
you were despised in the community.
Oh, my husband would be killed.
No,
Yeah.
nobody respected you. What kind of a man are you? Look at your wife.
Yeah.
Very skinny. You're not
Yes.
feeding her.
Yeah.
So traditionally, where I come from, a man was respected by how huge,
The woman
Yeah.
was.
strong, and African
Yeah.
woman. And a lot of men would be very happy to have a
That-
woman who is looking
Who has three
stout and
stomachs.
Who's looking well fed?
well fed. That's beauty also. So look at your people, your partner. What do they love? And so a lot of people are motivated by comparison and pressure. I want to look like so and so.
Yeah.
I want to look like I have it. I want to
live.
post myself. To the extent that Rodah,
Yeah.
a lot of people even in the marriage are no longer getting children because they want money for holidays. Instead of raising a child, I'd rather have a lot of money.
Yeah.
I go for holidays and the floss
On Instagram.
on Instagram that
Yeah.
the money I should have raised a daughter or a son,
Yeah.
I'm eating it out there
I'm in Italy.
in Italy and Vienna and places.
And me with my children, I'm sitting at home looking
Yeah.
at Lydia in Italy and
Yeah.
feeling like my husband is a failure.
Yeah,
He has a
failure.
failure.
Yeah.
But the person you're comparing with has no child.
Yeah.
They decided
Yeah.
hawatapata mtoto ndio wakule raha.
Yeah.
But later on, they'll be crying and telling you
Yeah.
are wiser, you have children to take care of, you
Yes.
have children to talk to.
Yeah.
Because again, age will not wait for them.
Yes.
Within no time, age imewaacha. Sasa ndo wanaanza kukimbia huku apate mbegu
Yeah.
zishalala.
Where?
Zililalia Italy.
Italy.
I think Rodah, in addition, just to
The
ride
reason
on
why,
what he has said, because I've had a chance to talk to a few women here and
Yeah.
there. I think the issue of comparison and competition is really killing a lot of marriages,
Yeah.
coupled with the girl child empowerment. I think many of us, when we went to school,
Yeah.
I have heard many women, and I think sometimes earlier I would reason the same way to say, without my education, I cannot tolerate this.
Oh,
I cannot
yes.
take in some of the things my mother went through, and I'm like, no,
With my
without my
masters.
education, with my master's degree, some even with a PhD, I cannot tolerate that.
Yeah.
But for me, I think marriage is not just about what you can tolerate and what you cannot tolerate. It's about what is your vision.
Yeah.
Where do you want to go with this marriage? And how did you also get here?
Yeah.
Because some of us,
Yeah.
maybe some people, because you asked the issue of divorce,
Yeah.
maybe some people got married for the wrong reasons.
Uh-huh.
Or they did not marry the right, or they did not marry their spouse for the right reasons,
Yeah.
you know. And if you already started wrongly, then you are going to have a challenge.
Yeah.
However, you may have started wrongly and correct yourself along the way, based on what you value and what you choose to make the marriage.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I believe everybody can work on whatever it is to make it better than they found it.
Yes.
If they are committed and they are willing to. So bottom line is, like I said, many women would leave their spouses because they are trying to compare their husbands, because they are comparing them with the neighbor. And like we say, the grass always looks greener at the neighbors until you get there.
Yeah.
So people need to realize where you found yourself, work on yours.
Yes.
And by you looking at us from afar, you may think we are such we are such a perfect couple. But until you live close with us, you realize actually between us we have our own issues.
Yes.
But then because we are human, but we have learned how to deal with issues without washing our dirty linen in public. So women need to learn that you can actually make your family what it is, and the next door couple are not always doing better than yourselves.
Oh yes.
They are not always doing better than you. It is what you want out of your marriage.
Yeah.
And last one, I want to say this as an advice to many women, because women, we talk.
Yes.
Sometimes some of us, whenever we have a marital challenge, we are quick to go and talk to our friends, some of our friends. And it is not every person we call a friend that may be meaning well for us. There are friends you will go and talk to, and you tell them, hey, imagine my husband did and this. And the next thing they ask you, what are you doing there?
Yes.
In other words, instead of trying to help you keep your marriage, they actually encourage you to take off.
Yes.
They're encouraging you to leave for reasons better known to them.
Yes.
Actually, some of them may be eyeing your husband and they are wishing you leave so that they take over. Yeah. So marriage, a lot of wisdom is needed, and especially of the woman. Now, I'm talking as a woman. The men will speak for themselves.
Yes.
A lot of women need a lot of wisdom to know how to manage their marital conflict. Learn to know who to talk to, what kind of details.
Yes.
For example, over the years I have learned, it is not every challenge I have with my husband that I must tell my mother.
Oh.
Remember, my mother, I am her daughter.
Yes.
And my mother will side with me faster than he will side with my husband. So if I'm always telling my mother my marital challenges, she will get to a place where she will hate on my husband. Because this guy is hurting the daughter. To my mother, I'm a daughter. And there is no way my mother will ever side with my husband. Any normal mother, isn't it?
Yes.
So we need to realize when we have marital issues, my advice will be to women, find somebody who will be balanced. In terms of their advice. Somebody who will not take sides. Because even for him, if every time we have a quarrel, he goes and tells his people, they will also start on hating on me because they think he married a very bad wife. So he also has to think of, look for some, because why we tell people we are looking for help. We tell people our marital problems, try to get help. So we need to go to people who will be balanced in their judgment and in their advice and who mean well for this marriage. Yes.
And then if I could add something, some of these divorces and challenges you're having in marriages, and especially divorce and all that, is a form of disobedience, especially for Christians. It's a form of disobedience. First, let's go straight to Ephesians. Is it Ephesians 5 and 6?
6.
Where it just underscores for us the basic ways of leading a Christian marriage. Remember in Ephesians, Paul is contrasting secular versus spiritual. Secular versus Christian. And he's trying to tell us we win as Christians by living as Christians. And he comes to the home. He begins with husband and wife. And he gives us very simple things. Number one, he says, wives, submit to your own husbands.
Not to any husband.
A lot of women will submit to any other man.
Pastors, especially
including pastors. They will submit to the pastor, everything, pastor, to the extent that they will call the pastor the best names. And even serve. But they can't submit to their
own husband.
But the biblical mandate is when you are a wife, the first responsibility according to the Bible of a wife is to submit. Now, submission is closely related to service. When you submit, you obey, you serve. You tell the women of today, most of them, submit. Wanaruka, if they jump up and say, am I a slave? Blah, blah, blah. If you are not willing to submit, don't enter into a marriage. That's the beginning point. In fact, he says, wives, submit to your husband as the church should submit to its Lord. You see the way you worship. Nimekuinua Baba. That's how you should submit to your husband. That's the biblical mandate.
I know. It's just hard to hear.
So you see now the beginning point is the beginning problem. Mpaka umekunywa maji. The beginning point is obedience. Can we obey scriptures? It is not the husband commanding you to submit to him. It is the Bible commanding you to submit to your husband.
Own husband.
A lot of women now think they are at par
with their husbands.
In fact, they want to instruct their husband. They want the husband to submit. And I see a lot of husbands submitting nowadays. Because you get to a place where you just submit.
To avoid conflict.
Because the woman is up there. He will talk to everybody, will do all kinds of things. And because you want to keep the marriage, sometimes the men just bow. But the next thing is the woman will complain. What kind of a man did I marry? But you made him that. You killed him. Okay? Then it turns around, said to women, submit. Then it turns around to the men. And he said, love your husband. As Christ
wife
loved the church. How did Christ love
He died.
the church? He loved the church that he died for the church. He said he washed the church. He says he washed the church so that when the church is, that's what scripture says in Ephesians, so that when the church is well washed and matured, he may present it to himself.
Yes.
So part of loving is washing your wife so that she looks the way you want. Wash her. Make her look. Jesus fashioned the church to look the way he likes. So the husband should fashion the wife to look the way he himself likes. And when she looks like that, present her to himself. You see, these two are the hardest things to do in marriage. To submit
And to
love. Because love, the way Christ loved the church is what we call the agape love. He loved us for no reason. He loved us the way we are. Whether you know yourself.
In fact, there are more reasons not to love.
Not to love us. The reasons not to love are more. But he loves us the way we are. We make mistakes. The first thing our husband must know is that a wife will make mistakes. And many of them.
Many.
Not one. Many of them. The husband must know the wife is an emotional being. They are very emotional, especially with their psychos. You heard that story of one guy who got married to a wife, went to job, coming back from work. The wife was waiting for him at the door. Took him straight to the bedroom, enjoyed love. They were so happy. The following day, the man could not wait for the day to end, to rush home to be received the same way. He rushed home even before time. The wife was nowhere. Found the wife at the bedroom crying. He said, you don't even love me. I don't even know why I came here. And he wondered, what has happened? The secret is just to understand the cycles. They change. Will you love your wife at every cycle? At every emotional season? They change. They change. Their body shapes change.
They do.
After they get babies. They used to be 1 GB. Now it's 6 GB.
3 stomachs.
The stomachs are big. The things are, because of the children, they are also not as kept as they used to be. Makeup hakuna kwa sababu watoto watatoa. Will you still love her in that change? You know? You married her when the breasts were at noon. Now they are fallen soldiers.
And you are the reason why they are fallen.
You are the reason. So, again, will you still love her? Loving your wife is the most difficult assignment of a man. Yet the Bible says we must obey that.
Wow.
It's a question of obedience. You don't love just to give love. You love to obey Christ.
Oh yeah.
You love your wife to obey Christ. You don't submit to your husband just to look like you're a submissive wife. You also do that to obey Christ.
Because God said so.
And this is the bigger one.
Yeah.
We don't, when the Bible says husband love your wife, most of the times we take it the opposite. Where the wife says, it is my right to be loved.
Yeah.
And the husband says, it is my right for you to submit. I'll only love you when you submit. No.
And I will only submit if I feel loved.
If I feel loved.
Yeah.
That is not what Jesus meant. Remember, Jesus says, after we have served him, he will come and say, come, my good and faithful servant. Those are two very important things. Come, my good and faithful servant. Enter my rest. Why? Because you served. Serving is dispensing your responsibility.
Yeah.
The call here is not for us to claim our rights, because most of the times we are consumed by rights.
Yeah.
The call here is for us to dispense our duties. We shall be rewarded by how we performed our duties, not how much rights we received.
Oh.
So the man must always be committed to love. Not because it is the right of the woman, but because it is his duty
to
love.
From God.
It's a command from God. The same with the woman. The woman should submit not because the man demands for it, but because it is her duty, a command from Christ, for her to submit to the husband. And that way, a marriage where there is love and submission, there is order.
Yeah.
And there is tolerance.
So those two things, if everyone just did that.
Yeah.
You have a very good family. And it begins by knowing Rodah. I am a wife to, what is your husband?
Jackson.
I am a wife to Jackson. When you are called a wife, that's your first responsibility. I am a wife.
I am a wife.
What is my first responsibility? Submit.
Submit.
Then Jackson knows I am a husband to Rodah. What's my first responsibility?
To love.
Even when she shows me her emotions, and I normally bring her chocolate. I'll still bring her chocolate when she's
emotional.
Moody. Let her eat her chocolate because I am not pleasing her per se. I am playing my role. I am committed.
Oh.
I am committed.
Yes.
Because when people don't do that, most of the times, the only thing that makes them continue to live together is the children.
Oh, that is sad.
And there is no marriage.
That is
you are there
sad.
to raise up children.
That's why people
and you are
divorcing.
raising up children who are hurting.
Oh, yeah.
Because they know what is happening.
Yeah.
That's why people divorce even
later.
After retirement.
Yes. Because they were tolerating each other for the children.
So that they don't show the children.
Yeah.
But the children know.
They see.
Yeah.
And the children are going to copy the same things because you are parenting them to be husbands and wives.
And wives as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't even think we should continue from there. That was a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
A lot of wisdom. What has kept you these almost 15 years? People I hear nowadays even men pack. So I stopped saying women.
Anybody can
Why haven't you packed? People, have you ever packed? Maybe I'm
Have I ever packed?
You say
in your mind.
I think there's a time in my mind I had packed, but then I unpacked early enough.
He's looking at you wondering,
In my mind.
In your mind. A woman can pack daily.
Yeah.
In their mind.
Sometimes you can go through challenges and find yourself, I don't think I'm ready to continue like this.
Yeah.
But I would say what has kept me over the last 14 plus years is one commitment.
Oh, yeah.
When we were newly married, by God's grace, we would talk.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we would talk about the future, we would talk about the now.
Yeah.
And one of the things we kept saying as a way of addressing our current and potential conflicts was that irrespective of what happens, everybody must play their part. So actually we agreed, even when we have fought, of course we never fight physically, but we fight.
Yeah.
So even when we have conflicts, you do not stop doing your part. Such that we will quarrel, and after we have quarreled and differed, I will still go to the kitchen and cook and serve him.
Oh.
So I think that is one of the things that have really helped us. Such that, because it's something we talked about early. And then the other thing we said is, irrespective of what is happening, we must communicate.
Yes.
Whether you are hurt or happy, communication
Communicate.
must happen. So if I'm not able to talk to him, I will send a text.
Yes.
If I call and he doesn't pick my call, whether deliberately or not, I will find a way of communicating. So I think that is one of the things that have helped us to remain committed. And to remain together.
Yeah.
Why? Because we have a reason to keep connected. We are always talking and everybody is doing their part. Even if we have done, even if he is how much offended and he needs to do something for me. For example, now I used to work and I'm currently not engaged on a full-time job. And I went back to school.
Yeah.
So whether he is happy with me or not, he pays my school fees. Because he has to do his work.
Yeah.
So you see that already keeps us together. So really, I think what has kept us, one is the commitment to the marriage and the fact that we agreed on some basics that should drive the marriage.
Yes.
The other thing we said is we should not always be driven by the current and especially emotional status. Beyond the current, let's look at what does the future look like.
Oh, yes.
There is a tomorrow. Actually, we keep reminding ourselves, well, this is happening now, but there is a tomorrow.
There's a tomorrow.
And we agreed between us, we are actually in this marriage to make it work. So I think for me, that also, that foundation, early enough to say we are not here to try. We are here to make it work no matter what. So that keeps ringing in my mind and telling myself, I made a vow that I'm in this to stay. And because of that, I've been every day trying to see what is it that I need to do so that I'm not just tolerating this marriage, but I'm here to make it work and I'm also comfortable.
Yeah.
The last one, that every time we sit together, because we occasionally sit the two of us without the children, is to remind ourselves, by the way, we will age together.
Oh.
These children that we are raising will be out of our house soon enough.
Very soon.
How do we want to grow after the children, or how do we want to live after the children are out of the house?
Yeah.
Do we want to be in a state where I don't want to look at his face, or he can't stand my face?
We'll go to America.
So we've tried to, without being coerced, to build an environment where we know we are in this together, we are in this to stay, and there is a future for the two of us. Yeah.
Wow. Why haven't you packed?
First, as you said, because I'm committed.
Yeah.
I looked for a wife because I wanted to get married.
Yes.
I looked for a wife because I wanted to be a family man. I don't think that has changed.
No.
I want to keep that commitment. Nothing good comes out of the normal.
Yes.
Everything that is good, you pay the price. If you want a good family, you must pay the price. If you want a good wife, you must pay the price. And sometimes paying the price includes being there through thick and thin, looking for solutions, working out things. So I am here because I made a commitment, and more importantly, the vow I made before God, till death do us part. I don't only want to keep my commitment to her, I want to keep my commitment to God. Because I told God, this is what I want.
Wow.
This is what I'm committed to. I have to keep that commitment.
Wow.
Yeah.
The final one as we end, a couple is planning or desiring to get into ministry. What advice would you give someone? They are married and they want to commit to ministry. Just one thing that maybe you wish someone had told you.
The first thing is... I can't find one word, so let me explain.
Oh, yeah, explain.
I can't find one word to describe. First, understand the extent of your calling, both of you. If both of you are called to the ministry, work together as a couple to complement each other.
Yes.
If one of you is called to the ministry, let the other support that other. Don't pretend you are also called. You burn yourself and burn the family.
Yeah.
So if one is called, let's support the one who is called.
Who is called,
and give them full support.
Yes.
Secondly, we say when it comes to the ministry and worship, this is the order: God, family, ministry. Ministry is third. God comes first.
Yes.
Family second. Don't sacrifice your family for the ministry. Because you may sacrifice today, you kill the family tomorrow,
Yes.
and the ministry will die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So don't sacrifice the family for the ministry. Let the ministry take its rightful place. And its rightful place is third.
Yeah.
Always choose family first.
Yeah.
We have seen, and this has happened for, especially for pastors, if you are a pastor, you are committed in church, and you are the one called, your wife has a small family.
Yeah.
Don't kill your family, your wife akuwe kanisa the whole day.
Yeah.
Ndio muonekane you are serving
Perfect
God
couple.
together, perfect. Leave perfection at home. Live a life that pleases God and that pleases your family.
Yeah.
So it is not a must that your wife should be in church from morning to evening
Yeah.
with your total children are crying there because of anger and being very tired, so that you can prove you are called. Let there be some liberty and freedom, so that if they don't have to be there, let them be home.
Yeah.
And above all, separate church with home. Separate ministry with home. Don't put your home to be your ministry headquarters. Let your home be a private space for your family.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have to do a ministry, set up an office elsewhere, meet people there.
Oh, yeah.
Let people not come to your home and announce just because they are members.
Oh.
Your home is for your family, your wife and your children, not the public.
Oh,
The
yeah.
church is a public space.
Yes.
Let's
Hey.
meet in public. Let's leave the private private.
Wow.
Thank you.
Ministry.
Maybe without repeating what you
Yeah.
said, I think for me the emphasis is this couple or these people want to join ministry. Join ministry because you are sure God has called you.
Oh, yeah.
Don't just do it because others are doing it or because there is an opportunity that you can use to make money.
Yes.
Do ministry, especially the work of God, do it because you heard God.
Yes.
And you are very sure this is what God wants you to do. Don't do it because there is an opportunity that you can use to make
Is
money.
being a pastor's wife a calling? Or anyone can be a pastor's wife?
For me, I would not say it's really a calling, but it has a special grace.
Oh.
I would not say it is a calling because I think there are people who don't start off as pastors,
Oh, yes.
but over time they become pastors. So being a pastor's wife is not necessarily a calling, but when God puts you in that space, He gives you some special grace to be able to operate as a pastor's wife.
Yeah.
But I don't
Or
think
a
there's
pastor's husband.
or a pastor's husband. Yes.
yeah.
So I don't think it's really a calling, but God gives you the grace when He
Grace.
gives you the assignment to play that role.
Okay.
Yeah, and which requires a lot of wisdom.
A lot of,
Yeah.
And grace. the
And
grace
grace.
we've talked
A lot of
about.
grace. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You wanted to add something?
No, I think
Oh, thank
that's
you.
already loaded.
Wow, that's so loaded. I wish we were here the whole day.
Yeah.
Jemo told us 1 hour, like 1 hour ago. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're
Thank
most
you so
welcome.
much. Say hi to people in Rongai. If you're around Rongai and you're looking for a church,
Yes.
your search for a church.
Has come
Has
to
come
an
to an
end.
end.
The
Yes.
church is
Sitam.
Sitam Rongai, Barabara Mpya,
Yeah.
next to Asiana Gardens.
Wow.
Yes.
See you every Sunday.
Every
Yes.
Sunday. First service, what time?
First service begins at 8:30. Second service begins at 11:30.
You have midweek service?
Midweek service from on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Oh, thank you so much. Welcome
Yeah.
to Sitam Rongai. And see you and your girls
Yes. On
this April.
This April 14th to 16th at EMT Moore Hills.
Yes, the number is on the screen and
Yes.
also on the first comment of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you've learned. Let us
Yeah.
know who else you want us to host.
Yeah.
And marriage works and it belongs to God.
Yes,
Bye.
it does. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's right.